Step one is to wash the model. These things have release agent on them for when they're molded, and if you try and paint over that, it might cause things to be gummy or not stick or whatever. So step one is I wash. So some of the miniatures, like they come in the D&D box sets, or particularly the ones that come in HeroQuest, it's bare plastic. And I've found this the hard way, because I painted 80 some HeroQuest miniatures between the two expansions, Mythic and Retail HeroQuest, that primer matters. I love this primer. I use this primer on everything as far as 3D printing, on terrain, or whatever. This works great. Lots of applications. However, on these miniatures like this, just take my word for it, do not use it. I've seen lots of prominent YouTubers recommend this kind of primer for HeroQuest, but I'm just here to tell you that from experience, do not use this on these bare plastic miniatures. There's something in the propellant or the solvent that's in here that reacts with this plastic, and this is going to be the most important lesson that I teach anybody about painting HeroQuest miniatures, is not to use that primer on this. That somehow it interacts with the plastic and it makes it sticky, and it doesn't matter how long you wait, the paint won't stick, the primer won't stick to the model. If you touch it, you'll put a fingerprint on it, or the primer will come off. It just reacts badly with the plastic. Keep that in mind. What I do use is this Vallejo. I only use this on these bare plastic miniatures. Since I've switched to this Vallejo primer on these type of models, I haven't had a problem. This stuff, you can just brush it on if you want. I mean, it's, you know, that's $17. It's more expensive than buying this stuff, and it definitely takes longer to apply. Bigger pain in the ass, but it's required on these bare plastic models. Do not use this stuff. Anyway, waiting on these to finish drying, then we're going to load up the airbrush and prime all these minis, and then we can start painting. Add some primer to my color cup here. Probably quite a bit, because I'm going to be priming quite a few minis. And the airbrush is just a Pache VL. There we go. Throw some primer down. We're just going to work our way through doing super light coats. Alright, all primed up. These are drying now. Get the airbrush disassembled and drying. Alright, so here's the first 3 miniatures from Frozen Horror. I've just started to lay down base coats. I went online and found artwork for Frozen Horror. So I got sort of decent sized graphics for all the models, so that'll give me colors to go off of. So here are my 3 ladies from the mercenary group. You can see it's just base coat. There's nothing crazy. There's still quite a bit of gaps. So I'm going to go back and touch these white spots. And these are dry, so we're going to wash these now and see how they turned out. Just try and make sure you get the whole model covered. Alright, well, unfortunately, while working out colors and whatnot, I forgot to film just a lot of the painting on some of the figures. We'll go back and cover all that. What I do have left are the doors here. So I just started base coating these, and then there's a lot of snow and ice and slush and whatnot on those. So I've done the metallics on the hinges and whatnot. Some of these I'm probably going to do in like a bronze or something like that, but I just wanted to get the base coat down and the metallics. So next I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wash the wood and the metals. So for the wash on the wood, I'm using Agric Earthshade, which I'm just about out of here. There's a lot of deep fissures in this wood, so trying to get washed down in there. Just gonna go ahead and hit the metal and whatnot, everything. I'm gonna have to go back and touch up with white and on the ice. Alright, so there's the wash. We're gonna let that dry. Come back and touch it up. Hit these spots where I bled over with wash in different colors. Get all the white back to white. I don't know if this is picking up or not. Alright, so I made a sort of a blue wash out of this Citadel Thousand Suns blue, diluted with a lot of water, and just got it runny enough to where it kind of runs down in the cracks. But everything that's ice, like the door and the icicles and whatnot, kind of give them a wash with this. And then I'm going to go back and dry brush and touch up with white. But you can see that gives it that sort of cartoony, icy look I'm going for. Anyway, looking forward to getting these done. Alright, well, I'm calling these pretty close to done. I hope this camera's working. I'm not used to this camera. Color-wise, I got everything I want. I think I'm going to do a little bit of dry brush on this this gray stone to bring out some of the detail. It's painted and washed, but not much in the way of detail popping out there. So do that. I'll maybe do a little bit of highlighting on this snow. And then I'm going to call these done. And then I'm going to get a shot of the rest of the box because it's all painted. So, yeah, just the last little step I put on was this bronze color on this eye monocle thing on the door. But yeah, it's not perfect, but I mean, it's going to be good enough for on my table. And I think it looks pretty good. So we're going to bust out some dry brush here, and then we'll throw some of this matte clear. So, and this doesn't have the same problem as the primers that I mentioned earlier. Once the model has got paint on it, then this clear coat works just fine on it. Kind of spray it from a foot or so away, get a nice matte finish, try and get rid of the shine. So anyway, let's get this last little bit done here, and then we'll call this project finished. For the dry brush portion here, I'm going to be using this craft store fog gray. I really like this color. It's lighter than a gray, but not quite a white. It works really great for highlighting darker sort of stone colors. So anyway, just proof that I don't use all expensive paints. I'm going to put a little of this out here. Dry brushing consumes a lot of paint anyway, so if you can do that with craft paint, then you're going to come out ahead. I'm going to try and capture this. I don't know if it'll come through. We'll try it. But you can see here the color's sort of uneven, and there's not much difference between the low areas and the high areas. So I've got, this is an actual dry brush from Army Painter. You can use a regular brush, but anything that's got longer bristle. And you just kind of go over the top, kind of raking paint along. Anyway, we'll get this done here and see if we can capture it. Anyway, it's kind of hard to paint and film at the same time, but you can see, get this framed. I basically just drug it along and drug paint off on the edges, and you can see that there's a lot more texture in that gray now, where it just looked kind of flat and detailless before. Now you can see a lot of that detail in the sculpt. So I'm going to go over and do this on both doors and move on. Anyway, there we go. Pretty happy with the dry brushing. It brought out a lot of that detail that was sort of lacking. So I'm going to throw some clear on these and be done with it. Oh, I need to throw a little bit of wash on this bronze eye thing. It needs a little bit more depth to it. Do that real quick. Again, trying to do this on camera is a little bit tough, but I'm just going to put a little bit of wash on there to give it a little bit of shadow. There we go. Alright, well here they are all painted up. I wanted to capture more painting, obviously, but that just doesn't always work out. So best I can do is show you guys sort of the finished product here. I'm not a fantastic painter, but I can do an okay job. Based on the response I got off of Yield In and the HeroQuest Facebook group, a lot of people really liked it, so decided to put this video together to at least show the techniques that I used. Right or wrong, this is sort of how I got to this result. So I just wanted to get everything in front of the camera here, and I got some decent close-up shots where you can see all my flaws, and that's what I noticed in Facebook is a lot of the flaws don't show up, so people are, they take it in a glance and it looks amazing, but as the painter, where all the where all the skeletons are buried, so to speak. But these close-ups will hopefully give you a better idea, and hopefully help to avoid some of the pitfalls I ran into and some of the techniques I used to achieve some of that. So I guess that's it. I just wanted to finish this video up, wrap this video up with this stuff, and show you guys the whole thing painted up. I don't know if I'm going to do this going forward. Mage in the Mirror is coming out. Rogue Heir of Arathorn, or whatever it's called. I got that one on the way. I don't know if I have the energy to keep this up after doing the Mythic tier, which was 80 plus miniatures. That was a huge undertaking. It took me a couple months to get it all done, and really stretched my will to want to paint. There was enough of a break between that and when this came out for me to finish it, and the stuff that I learned painting that allowed me to kind of blow through this stuff a little bit faster. So there's that. A couple things that I'll mention is a lot for these bad guys. A lot of the techniques were the same. So for the blue hues, the blue washes on like the ice weapons, the door on Frozen Horror on his ice spikes and all that. That's all the same technique that I showed when I was doing the icicles on this. So when you can use that technique over and over, it definitely makes things go faster. A lot of the blues, like the cobalt blues in the polar bear guys, these were just basically kind of a simplified version. God, that is not focusing. Sorry about that. These were just basically a simplified version of Frozen Horror with the cobalt on the pauldrons and the knee pads and the fur and all that. So I used the same exact techniques on him as I did on Frozen Horror. The Frozen Horror is obviously, he's a lot more detailed. There's bronze and gold and lots of spikes and stuff, but by far the things that make him pop the most is this ice, which is just painted white, and then that blue wash that I showed, how that Thousand Suns blue, and then dry brush over the top of it. It gives it almost a glowing look. And then I guarantee you the toughest part out of painting this guy altogether was getting the color I wanted for his fur. So he's got the fur lining on his armor, and then I didn't even get this quite as blue as I wanted. Every time I would get the hue of I wanted in blue, when I wash it, it would completely take it out. But at least there's a differential between the two furs there to kind of show him. But I was going for more of a color like these guys for that fur. But I did it, I bet 2 or 3 times trying to get that color back, and I just struggled with it. So I just went with what was working. And that's pretty much it. A lot of people commented on the texture on the armor. A lot of that is just how laying the wash on there. I kind of will do it uneven to give that armor. Obviously, there's the part of the work is the sculpt, but to give that armor some texture, to make it look a little, dirty and worn. You can kind of apply some of that texture while doing the wash. But anyway, that is it. I just wanted to show you guys, my process and what I did to get here, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I know some of the footage kind of sucked because I switched cameras, and I'm just not used to shooting painting videos, so hopefully I'll get better with that over time. But anyway, that's it. I thank you guys for watching. If you would subscribe, I really would appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel a little bit. Because this gaming thing is definitely my passion. So if I start getting a little more of an audience, I'll definitely be more apt to produce content for it. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.